Welcome back to Shift Talk, another episode of just me ranting and other women talking. This is now our next episode in the line of amazing episodes. This is going to be an episode called Second Acts and Red Flags. This is going to be dating over 40. I have my special guest here because I've been married for 25 years, so I don't even know what dating looks like. However, I do have two wonderful women who are both over the age of 40, navigating for the last at least 10 years, being single again, post-divorce, raising children, having careers, and somehow trying to find love or something that's reminiscent of it, or at least satisfaction. World of dating apps and ghosting, that's one of my favorites. I've had employees or potential employees ghost me, so, that was shocking.
And you weren't even offering them
A job.
pleasure.
I know.
For free.
Right.
Like,
I was offering them money.
Exactly. And they ghosted you.
For
Imagine
exchange for
us offering the other stuff.
But as Laura's been a friend of mine and a colleague for, at least 10 years. Yep. And Casey's actually my sister. And if you are watching this episode, not just listening, I just want to put it out there that I am on vacation and this outfit is giving. I don't care who you are or how you feel about it. Laura's who we want to be. Casey's who I was tomorrow when I wash my hair. But if you came here to judge our outfits, and this is not the podcast for you, but I am fascinated by your guys' stories, because at the end of the day, I just think if my husband dies, I'm going to move in with another woman and have no sexual relations, but basically drink wine and fold laundry, because those are the two things I kind of want to do.
Which may turn into just experimenting.
Yeah. No.
I mean,
You say that because you've never gone without it.
So just for clarification, Laura, how long have you been divorced for, or at least separated/divorced?
for 13 years.
Wow.
13 years.
And Casey, how about you?
I'm 10 years.
10 years. And after you divorced, when did you know you're ready to date? Did you go through your wild and crazy divorce phase, or did
yeah.
you? Oh yeah. But then when were you ready to seriously start serious dating?
It took me a while,
yeah.
years to finally. Well, because I had kids too. So when I didn't have my kids, then I wanted to date and be wild and crazy. But I didn't want anybody around my kids.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really that interested in dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was very methodical. And so, before I got divorced, it was very planned. And then when I got divorced, I committed to 1 year of not dating because I wanted to be in a mental health space to where I wasn't bringing in too much baggage. But then as soon as I started dating after 1 year, I realized that the emotional energy that relationships take and the emotional energy my children needed from me, that I needed to make a choice. And so my choice in that moment was to focus on my children. So while I did go on dates and maybe I dabbled in online dating, I recognized that I couldn't show up for a man in the way that I knew would be long term until my kids were in a place to be ready for that.
Talking to both of you, that usually be ooh, I met this guy. And usually week 1 or 2, you guys are ooh, he could be the one. And then I see you I talk to you maybe week 3 and you're
Yeah, we
no.
know super fast. I mean, it is very fast when we know that someone, I say we because I am speaking for you.
Yeah.
But when you're at this age,
It
you
doesn't take long.
see it really. And I would say when you're a person of trying to be as authentic and genuine as yourself, you're looking for that in someone and you see it in someone. So you see very quickly when you're trying to see it, you see the things that aren't going to work for you.
Well, I think the truth is that when you're 20-something and you're dating, there's some sort of timeline that's kind of been impressed on women, right? Your biological clock, or
For sure,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But once you know you're done having kids, it's kind of
That is
I need
different.
to have the right person.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking for a partnership or a companion, not a
Yeah.
baby daddy.
But I think I went through that. So I realized, okay, so actually relationships are not what I want right now because I need to give that emotional energy to my children. So I did try the hoe phase. I did try the casual relationship.
Sorry, I had to listen to that hoe phase.
I tried the casual relationship that was just for sexual satisfaction. And when men couldn't show up for sexual satisfaction, nor was I then allowing them to be emotionally satisfying. I was like, actually, I'd rather be single.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for many years, I stayed single.
But do you think, I know for you, Casey, in some ways you kind of lost yourself in not only your marriage, but also in like in motherhood in some capacity?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in marriage. And then when I invested so fully in children, I wouldn't necessarily say that I lost myself. I put that part of me aside until it was ready to be engaged again.
Like
And
you
I
had the energy and time for
Yeah, and I didn't even know at the time. I mean, Bobby Joe was with me when my experience changed in dating. I didn't know at the time that I was ready. I just
you
had
didn't date for like 2 or 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She was literally like, I haven't had sex in 3 years.
it's
I
broken.
remember
It's
you
broken.
saying that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I didn't even actually desire it. That was
that's-
most surprising to
I would
me.
say that was the hardest part because I do feel like you've always been kind of like a sexual
I
being.
have been. Yes.
Yeah. So when you
Yes.
were like, Bob Joe, I haven't had sex for over 2 years, I was kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah. And I didn't desire it. That was the most surprising for me, was that I didn't have those actual urges. Like, even with self-pleasure, I wasn't doing it anymore. Like, it wasn't like because we're women. We have
Right.
all of that stuff happening for us. And it wasn't happening for me in that, like, oh, I need to these 3 days a month or 1 day a month, because my body's telling me this is our cycle. I didn't have it anymore for a long time, for those 2 years at least.
I don't pay attention to my cycle. My husband lets me know how often.
Your husband tells you when your cycle is.
He's the one that
Every
reminds
day.
me.
This is your cycle day.
He's like, it's been 3 days. Okay. How about you, Laura? Like, how do you feel in regards to that? Like, did you lose yourself in your marriage before divorce or
Probably more so in my kids than
in your marriage?
yeah. But and I don't know. I just feel like kids, you pour so much into them, and they take. Yeah, I mean, they have activities, and you have everything. You're doing everything with them. And now I'm entering the empty nest stage. Emily leaves for college in 2 weeks, so I'm having like a whole other, because I'm like, oh my gosh.
Instead of a come to Jesus moment, it's a come to Laura moment.
Yeah, I'm like, she's going to be gone, and
Yeah.
what am I going to do with myself? Because
And she's your youngest?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
She has an older son. She has a boy and a girl, but opposite.
Opposite
you.
me.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Casey's oldest is going off to college in 2 weeks as
August
well.
18th.
Oh, hers is the 16th. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Do you have the soiling the nest? Are there terrible humans?
Like, is she being snotty to you?
No, she's good.
Yeah. I mean, her daughter's been soiling the
Yeah.
nest since.
Well, and I just only recently found out it's a thing. Someone's like, no, this is a psychological thing that happens when children go to college to make that separation easier.
Oh,
So, but it's causing turmoil, and then we add vacation on top of it. And I brought my boyfriend on vacation, and it's been a whole thing.
And
This
it's
has been a
happening at
very
my
stressful
house.
vacation. It's happening at Bobby Joe's house. Yeah.
oh yeah. No, I'm ready to pack up and like live in her dorm.
Aww.
Like, I don't want
Well,
her to
that's
leave
why
me.
that's
what
why
she
soiling
needs
the
to
nest
soil
to be
the
doing.
nest.
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
why they do it.
Tell her
to
she
make
needs to
that
just
separation.
drop. She needs to do a Amber Heard on your bed.
Ew.
Soiling the nest. All right. So I would say, how does being a parent like influence your dating? Like, Laura, you mentioned that you didn't really want to introduce your children to some of the boyfriends, and I know that Casey waited actually quite a while before you let this most recent boyfriend. She's about 10 months into this relationship, and she met him in a bar, random, not.
Well, we'll
That's
get there.
great.
Let's finish this.
She's always been saying for years, like, I want to meet them the authentic way.
Organic. It's my
Organic.
words.
Oh my God, same difference. All right, so
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never even, I've been on a gazillion bad dates and stuff, but I've only brought, maybe 2 people have met my kid. Actually,
In
I
13
think my
years?
son's only met 1 person. So, yeah, I'm just really.
didn't your son think you were a lesbian at one point?
My kid.
No.
I thought he made some
think
comment
so.
to you
My
about
kid,
that.
I think you're thinking of me, because my kids asked me that question, and they're like, "It's okay, Mom."
He's just worried that I'm going to be alone forever. Like, you're too picky, Mom.
I love that you're. Because my son's more
He was like,
concerned about me
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's being super like considerate and kind because he doesn't want to like piss off the boyfriend.
My son, yeah.
Oh.
Right now, he's so like thoughtful because he wants this to work for me, which is you should not carry that.
Right.
That's not your responsibility, but I think it's just natural.
Yeah, I mean, I think they want us to be happy
They
and
do.
have a life
Yes,
without them.
Because a few years ago, my kids were
And not
like,
need-
they're like, why aren't you dating? And I'm like, because I want to be here for you. And they're like, no, we're okay. Go ahead, start dating.
Well, you both have kids who are dating, and
Right.
you're dating.
Which I hate. I'm not
Well, I was
gonna
going to
lie.
say, so if you could give advice to your children, or potentially tell your 25-year-old self advice, like what would it be now that you're,
I know
guess,
the answer to
older?
this, yeah.
You know the answer?
Mine would be just know your self-worth and don't settle. And I was always concerned that maybe Emily would, like you don't know if they're going to want somebody like one of their parents or like the opposite, but she's like the opposite.
Yeah.
She knows what she wants, and she's got a really great
and she's
job.
kind of with some of the guys you've dated, she's triggered the red flag. She's been like, Mom.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. She
really?
waves the red flag.
No kidding.
Oh
You're-
yeah.
She has pointed out to you, like before you were able to see it.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
she hasn't loved. She's only met two, obviously, but both of them she didn't really care for.
Mine first would be to make the list. And while we all make lists, it doesn't mean that we stick by our list, but at least use that as your framework and then
Like
go
a list
back
as
to
in
it.
a list of requirements.
Of your, maybe like your standards. And I made that list when I was a teenager. I never went back to it and looked at it.
Oh, you have recently?
My previous list matches the person I'm with now.
Wow.
Maybe besides a few factors. But I never went back to that list that I made as a teenager. And that, I think, if I had done that and then said to like someone like Bobby Joe and said, hey, here's my list and here's who I'm dating and considering marrying,
Right.
let's talk about this and let's talk through this. And having someone else that is that trusted, vulnerable space for you that can then push you and challenge you on the things that, like, okay, is brown hair really important? Like, that was one of my things. I wanted someone with dark hair, and I married someone with the weird chestnut brown hair. And I said weird, I'm sorry. I just
Somewhat blonde,
and it's
somewhat
it's the
brown.
silly, like that's a silly thing, right? That is not important, but
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, what about the people? Like, okay, the famous line of the girl, like, I'm looking for a guy in finance, 6'4", blue eyes, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, again, somebody ran the numbers, and there's like 3 guys,
right,
that fit
exactly.
that criteria.
So if that's your criteria,
Oh,
then
it's
talk to that person you can be vulnerable with, and that would say, hey, maybe your standards are actually ridiculous, right?
Right.
Like, you're not
Yeah.
being realistic. Let's actually, or maybe let's put those down to actually more of who the person is versus now you're talking about money and looks.
Yeah.
Right. What are the and that's what I would have done differently, is to take my list that I had made and took someone vulnerable that I could be vulnerable with and said, let's talk about this with the person that I'm dating right now.
have you thought about having Grace make her list? Right, I understand.
I think
Or
that,
what about just like make this list, and so that someday when you're older you can look back
all right,
at it.
fine. Give me good advice on a podcast.
I just didn't know this list. You never mentioned said list.
I have the list from when I
And
was
all
18.
Now I
but
want to
I
make
just-
a list.
I know. I never wrote a list down, but I
Me
feel like
either.
in my head
But
I
you-
had an idea. Now I will tell you that I used to always date jocks. Now again, I was young. I used to always date jocks, and so like muscles were like out. And I'm not talking about like meatheads. I like a guy who's scrappy. Like think Brad Pitt in Fight Club, scrappy. Like he should be able to do something with that.
We
right?
all loved a Brad
Not just
Pitt in
like-
Fight Club.
right.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't want like for me. The Rock. That's not my like.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
His thighs should not be as big as my head. That's weird.
No.
Yeah, he shouldn't be able to crack your skull with his thighs.
Right, exactly. But what I'm saying is that, like, what I didn't realize, like, coming to lists, if I was to, like, reflect on my husband now, who I've been with for 25 years, he's a little bit more crotchety than I was expecting, but he's also incredibly funny, so I feel like as long as, like, he balances that out, like, keeps the funny and crotchety at equal balances, I'll put up with it. But
Up with it.
now that he's older, he's actually probably like the most muscular and fit he's been. Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe there's like innate, like not written down lists, but
Right, but I think there's a starting point, is
Right.
what I think where I come from, is if I had gone to that starting point that I did as a very ignorant, 18-year-old, I think I was actually 17 when I made the list, and I had maybe talked to you, who has always been my confidant, and said, hey, let's talk about this, and let's compare these values that I'm placing on, whether it's hair color or whatever, then it would flush out more conversation about maybe what's not working and what is working, or what
and
could
maybe
be.
it's not so much that you can't have that list of standards. Maybe it's about readjusting which ones are the most
Expectations.
important. And expectations.
Yeah.
I can't believe you still have the list.
I do.
I know.
I'm going to send it.
Are
I
you
will
a
send it to
hoarder?
you.
Are you the hoarder?
My journals, I am.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
Yeah, my
Wow.
journals, I am. Yeah.
I always buy journals, and I would tell you there's like 2 pages where
Oh,
I started
yeah.
it. And I never
Well, okay, the funny thing about my journals is that I actually take all of my journals and write them in different sequences. So you can't, I do it purposely because I don't want you to follow my life pattern. I want you to not understand me.
That's a little extra.
Little
That
crazy.
is- yeah.
Okay. On another
On another
episode.
note,
Let's identify women's crazies.
on a less serious, let's look at the list idea. What about let's talk about some of the funny things, because I know that Laura has some really good stories, and I know at least one of your stories that I think is hilarious. So let's talk about
boy.
some of the apps and antics and some of the funny things that have happened. What is your favorite thing, whether it's funny or like the best thing that ever happened, or your least favorite thing? Like, can you name one of each?
Well, I guess I'll tell the story that everybody loves.
At least there's a couple.
Well, there
There's the
are.
Disney guy.
Oh, yes, that too.
Yeah.
So I went on a date with this guy that was seemed to be supposed to be a great guy, established, talked over the phone. He was great. I don't want to give too much information because we're local, and I don't want to
But I mean, you can
call it
basically
out.
say
But I could say
he had a handicap.
he had a handicap.
Had he actually told you about it before the date?
I agreed to the date, and then maybe a few days later, he told me about his handicap. I still agreed to go because, I mean, who's going to be that person that's like, no, I don't want to go out with you. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was horribly rude, not nice at all guy. We went to...
Well, how you treat your servers, right? They went to a restaurant.
Went to a restaurant.
That's
Nice
so telling.
restaurant.
That is so telling.
Yeah.
How they treat people in public is so telling of the person they are.
Horrible. Rude to the server. Rude to me. When I was going to order my wine, he was like, let me order for you. You don't know what, my friends would joke you for drinking that kind of wine. Like, I don't care. I mean, whatever. So we're sitting there. He's being
favorite part
rude
about
to
the story, though, is
everybody.
that, no, she has friends that she knew growing up, sitting like really close by.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. This is literally just coincidence.
right.
Yeah. He's being loud, obnoxious. He's sitting like sideways
And
in
he's
his
not
chair.
drunk.
No, he's getting.
He's
He's getting
drunk.
buzzed up.
Yeah.
Okay, and which is escalating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
yeah.
sitting sideways in the chair. So, like, the back is here, and he's sideways. And then he falls onto the ground.
No.
Falls out of the chair onto the ground.
On your date with your
First
friends
date.
observing.
And we were sitting in the middle part of the restaurant.
Sure. So it's a very public thing that happens.
packed, Christmas time, and people are like, is he okay? I just sat there.
This is
I was
my
like,
first day meeting him.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the crazy thing, he was like, we finished the dinner. And he was like, so, you want to go out again? I was like, you seem nice, but I don't think so. Oh, then he berated me and was like, oh, what kind of guy do you want? What do you want, somebody that hangs sheetrock? I mean, I'm a great guy. I'm a catch. I'm good looking, I'm successful. Why didn't you tell me this before I paid for dinner? I'm like, I can pay for my own dinner.
Oh, girl.
I don't need you to pay for my dinner. So, yes, that was an unforgettable.
Well, it's more like it's more the fact that was that dig. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want? Some like guy who works with his hands. Look
Yeah.
at me. I'm white collar.
I
and
would
amazing.
much rather have a guy that works with his hands.
Yeah.
But if you have to tell someone your value,
You're doing that for a reason, right?
yeah.
Well, she also, just like to put a few more of your fun stories, she did date a guy who liked to go back and watch Disney movies.
Yes, he invited me to his house.
Like kids' Disney movies?
Well, yeah, he said, so
And
on
then
the
you
first
would
date,
cry.
he was like, do you want to go to the bar, out to a bar, or you want to go to my house and watch a movie? So people knew him. Like, so I knew he wasn't a serial killer. So, and I didn't want to be like,
But-
well,
but-
let's go to the bar, which is what I wanted to do. So I
Right, but
said,
going back to the house gives you a shiver up your back, no?
yeah, well, not once I got there, because he was like, oh, I've got Disney Plus. And he turned it on like this 3-hour Disney movie about the dogs taking penicillin in Alaska or something. Longest movie I've ever watched in my life. I had to pee. I wouldn't even go because I knew he was going to pause the movie and it would last longer. So I just held it the entire day. And at the end, he cried. He cried at the end of the Disney movie.
Yep. And then my other one is the guy that you kind of went like on a trip with, and then basically you got shafted with the whole bill.
I forgot all about him. I
Isn't
forgot all
it
about
funny
that.
how we repress some memories?
Yes.
How'd you forget about him? Because
don't
he was
know.
also someone that was known within your circle of friends and stuff.
You're right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
basically, like,
so these are
he
people that are
shafted her.
actually either second or third degree people, like, right? Like,
Yes.
someone
Now,
knew
not
them
like-
and had some context
Right.
of the person they
knew
are.
of them and knew, I mean, like, didn't have anything really bad to say about
Right,
them.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I went to
That's
Myrtle
a
Beach for New Year's
bummer.
Eve and got back, and all this money was off my debit card because I had asked him to hold, like, we were out.
Wait,
and
what?
I said, can you hold my card while we're out? Because I didn't want to hold my purse.
And he kept swiping your card?
Yeah.
Even we were at a restaurant, we were at a bar, and he said, do you want a sweatshirt? It's kind of cold. I'm like, no, I'm good. And he was like, well, I'm going to go get one, so I'll get you one too. With my card.
Nuh-uh. He bought you 2 sweatshirts with your
No,
card?
he bought him one and me one with my
Right,
card.
right,
Yeah.
2 sweatshirts.
And it wasn't even the, like, I
That wasn't one you chose?
Yes. Yes. Oh my
Oh my
gosh. It was insane.
gosh.
I had charges from the hotel. I had charges from, it was,
That
you just
is
cannot make this stuff up.
nuts.
Yeah.
I totally
That is
forgot about
nuts.
that.
I cannot
Yeah.
believe you forgot that story.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
my-
it's really been these stories. Now, Casey, the story that I think you should tell. But again, I'm going to let you pick your favorite and least favorite, whether or not they are your
Even
the same.
Because I don't think that I have a ton of, like, favorite, least favorite. Okay, so my least favorite is...
bed.
Oh, dear God.
See, how does she remember all of our
Because
stuff
this is
that we
wild.
don't?
I'm sitting here, my bored ass husband lives.
Okay, well, I was thinking the
saying,
one...
thank God he's born.
Well, I was thinking... Okay, so I was thinking the one with my least favorite was actually on the... When I was in the hoe phase where it was supposed to be casual, but he was like, see a piece after we had things going on. And I was like, you're not... It's like 11 o'clock at night. You're not going to even walk me out to my car? And I was like, actually, we will never see each other again.
Yeah, well, he did continue to contact you.
He did, and he did. He actually felt bad, and he saw me in a bar several months later and came up to me and apologized to me because I'm like, actually, we can hook up, but you can still be a gentleman.
right.
Right.
I
So
agree.
that was my least favorite, or I would say that moment. It was more that was the moment that made me feel where I realized that the casual was not for me.
Right.
Because I still wanted to be treated like a lady.
Right. Still want to respect.
Yes. The story that Bobby Joe is talking about. So I paid for matchmaker service because I didn't want to do online dating, and so I paid for matchmaker
And it was like
service.
2 years that you were on this matchmaker's list.
Well, and I had done other. They always do interviews every so months, and then they will, if they have a match, they will call you and interview again just to make sure that things are still the same to match you with the person. So very high level profession,
remember.
very
Yeah,
high
I
level
told you. Yeah,
profession.
yeah.
So my first weekend that I did go to his house, we did the dating thing a little bit, right? Or, just before I stayed the night at his home. But I went to his home. It was a larger home, beautiful, historic district. So I'm walking in thinking, wow, cool. And then we went to bed.
You're like, jackpot.
And I get in bed, and something touches my toe. I'm like, what is this? And it's a black pair of panties on my toe. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like,
Lo and behold, he was just filthy.
he didn't change his sheets, and the last woman that was in his sheets left her panties, according to him, was several months before he and I were together.
Oh.
But regardless, I found another woman's panties and the guy I was supposed to be sleeping in his bed with.
Yeah. She's a dead ringer. 300. So this is why I think like I'm never gonna date, because if my husband drops dead tomorrow, I'm not gonna date. Like I'm gonna have a, I don't know, whatever.
Sisters forever.
Well, right, but like back in the day, like in the early 1900s, maybe in the late 1800s, two women would live together and they would be considered like friends. And I don't even know if they really were lesbians. I really think it was just women who wanted companionship.
Well,
I mean, it was
okay,
just-
so to piggyback off of that is that we were just sitting out at Bobby Joe's with men, and the men who are married and the men who are married are saying that is actually what we would do, is that we would build cool barns full of toys and we'd live together versus get remarried. So I think men have the same similar mindset of,
Well, I would say of the three men that were sitting out there, one of them would not. I think my husband probably would, because he's pretty like pretty independent. Like he like cooks and cleans, and
one of them would not, is as he's been cared for, he couldn't, it would
I
be
feel
difficult
like
for him
he-
not to
yeah.
be cared for.
I can make assumptions. All right. Well, okay. Any
Moving
like,
on.
Moving on.
Any red flags that you spotted instantly, whether it's like through DMs.
Go ahead.
You're good.
No, you first.
So so you're on the apps, you've got all these damn pictures up there. I don't put old pictures because that's like, I mean, you're gonna meet in person.
misleading. It's
Yes,
misleading.
It's a bit
Yes.
catfishy.
So
guys.
when they
Yeah.
send a message, I'm like, oh hey, and they're like, send a pic. No, they're like 6 on the online. You
Yeah.
can look at it. Why am I
Right.
going to send you another pic? And what kind of pic do you want me to send you for the second message?
Right.
No, I'm not doing that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when they decide that they're going to send a pic and it's
Yeah.
not of their face, like
Right.
we haven't even met.
I don't even understand the whole like premise of like why someone would offer a dick pic. I'll be honest, like, until like you're like getting kinky and getting funky. Like I get like they like that, but like you're not a bass, and that's not a lure. Like, do you know what I
Okay, so
mean?
that is one of my red flags.
is the dick pic.
And no, actually, in the dating app world, it's that they only have photos with animals.
Oh wait,
So-
I thought they
The
said
fish.
That, oh, the fish, is supposed
or
to
their
be,
dog.
No, I heard they've done studies and they say the guys with the fish are not commitments, and the guys with dogs are more commitment. They've done some studies on these apps.
Either way,
Oh,
And why
I
are you
want to
reading these
know
studies?
you. I don't want to know how good of a fisherman you
Yeah.
are. I don't know about your animals. And if you put your kids on your dating
No,
app,
that's a definite.
that's
Yeah.
uncomfortable
Yes.
for your children, and
Yes.
you aren't thinking of them first.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
wild.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Or how about when, I don't know if you've seen this, when it says they're like, I don't know, 38 in the big number on the app. But then in the description it says, I'm actually 55, but everyone says I'm young for my age.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's a thing?
yeah.
I've not been a dating app person except for like maybe 2 years out of the 10 that I've tried dating apps. So
I've been off and on many times.
Yeah.
I'm currently off just
Well,
because
I feel like
I'm
sometimes
over it.
you go on just for funsies.
Yeah.
like,
No,
because it's almost
'cause I get
entertaining.
bored.
and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Out of the 10 years, I would say 2 years, right? So
Yeah.
every year, probably about, besides maybe our COVID stint of we're trying to all keep our distance,
Right.
every year approximately, I would just, I guess, dip my toe back in, whether it was Facebook dating or paying for a dating service or whatever. I would try to dip my toe back in, but it would be
Like quickly, your
3
toe
days,
dipped back
3
out.
days or less than. Actually, I'm still fighting a dating app right now that truly it was 30 seconds and I regretted it immediately, tried to cancel it because I thought, all right, so I need to pay for the dating service, and that's what I try to do. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay for it, and then 30 seconds later I go, nope, actually I don't want to pay for it. And today, it's been now almost 2 years that I'm still fighting that dating service, that I'm not going to pay that fee because I did not use your service. You can see that I did not use your service.
Yeah,
anyway.
that you cancel it in 30
Yeah.
seconds. Yeah.
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 But
So if you could describe modern dating,
Hell.
hell, one sentence, and that's it, hell.
It,
I mean, even Casey, so like about your current boyfriend, right? So again,
Oh.
organically, I have literally gone on one girls trip in which my sister's friend up in Michigan, who, I've become friends with also over the years, decided to like plan like a wine trip up to like Traverse City, Michigan. And it was actually so much fun and it was gorgeous. And our last night there, her friend and I are both like old people. We're like, it's like 8:30. We're tired. We just finished at the restaurant.
Yeah, you're all there.
And at 8:30, there was this speakeasy that was supposed to be like known for the city. And so we're like, well, we at least have to go. So we literally wander in, and my sister struts in, walks across the bar, walks back over. You can tell your version. Let me finish mine. And she's like, I need to sit right here. This guy is going to come talk to me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he does. And I was like shocked. I was like, wow. But then after this whole night, which by the way, her cousin, who actually lives here in our area, decides to wingman her, and she got lucky enough to hang out with his friend and get popcorn thrown at her the whole time. While her now boyfriend, like when he's like buzzed, he's like catatonic, almost like just smiles and is happy. So they didn't really talk the whole night. They had chemistry, but like didn't really talk. And she's like, I'm never going to hear from him again. And lo and behold, he did text you.
He pursued,
Yeah. Which you were like Miss like naysayer. Like
I think
you get that. You have your guard up.
You don't want to have some unrealistic expectations. That was only the second time I'd ever been approached in a bar in the organic setting, and the other time it was fine. Like a guy approached me, we went on a breakfast date, and there's nothing came of it. So I think that was what I was basing it off of. And then he and I never had a chance in that evening to connect other than like just energy between us. But so what I would say is in the moment, I didn't know this was a thing until I then later saw on Instagram is the look back. Have you heard of the look back?
Is that when you're walking away and you kind of look back?
Yes. And I didn't know that's a thing.
But she did it.
But I was also, I was very buzzed up and feeling my confident self. And
she had recently lost like a few
right,
pounds
so
or whatever.
Sema has been a gift to me through my sister and the clinic and the injectory, which I'm so grateful for. And it's not because I like let myself go. It's just that life took over and I was so focused on my children and career and so much was going on that me exercising and eating well was not the priority. Survival was my priority. And so when Bobby Joe then started doing the Sema, and I waited at least a year before I was like, actually, maybe I should join this bandwagon. And I'd finally like got this like confidence back, and it was like this new person that I experienced within myself. Because again, right, like I felt like oppressed just by circumstances.
Right, but your energy comes out. So like if you walk into a room with confidence, like I've been told many times that I walk into a room with confidence. The funny part of that story is that I just walk into rooms and I don't think about it.
Well, and
I'm not walking in with confidence.
I
I'm
wouldn't
just
say
not
that I
walking
walked
in
in
a
that room thinking of my confidence.
You walked in feeling good about, I guess.
No, I walked in that room. I didn't like that you guys were being weird about like, what do we do? What do we find a table? Do we need to ask someone? I didn't like the unconfidence we had as a group coming into that bar.
Well,
and so then I just beelined
just wanted to know like how long we had to be there.
Exactly. You were just like, we're doing one drink and we're leaving. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm going to find us a table. And it was like a Saturday night.
She
it
didn't
was
find us
busy.
a table. She found herself a man.
Well,
so I walked in and he obviously was looking at me now.
I mean, look at you.
Thanks. But he has such a beautiful smile.
He does.
And he was just smiling. Like, right? Like, it was just.
But that's catatonic. Like, he's like, they call him, what do they call him?
Dementia smile.
Dementia smile.
Because he just like goes into this smile, and he's a darker complexion and bright white teeth. Anyway, so I saw that, and I did the look back, which I only later learned that's a thing. You're supposed to look back at a guy who's checking you out. And so I did that, and then his smile got bigger. And I was like, ooh, he saw me. Like, we made a connection. And then I positioned myself at the table that I found empty so I could see him. And that's when they came behind me and sat down. And I said, I'm sitting here because that guy over there is going to come over and talk to me.
Yeah, she said that. And he did. And here we are 10 months later.
He came over and talked to me. He tried to talk to me, but Bobby Joe took over.
I'm shocked.
What do you do for a living? Are you married? Do you have children?
Not that much. They're a bit.
He
totally
still says to this day that she interrogated him.
You introduced me. You first were like, "Oh, Bobby Joe, this is my sister Bobby Joe," and I was like, "Who are you? What do you want?" Like, I mean, I'm not gonna like some like rando in a bar.
It was so great. Like, and that's what we need, right? Like I said, even with the list, we need someone that knows our vulnerability, knows who we are, that is watching our blind side. because we will get swept up in the emotion, in the desire, in the story we tell ourselves.
That's the biggest thing, too, I think. Like, in your brain, like,
Our
even
brain
if
lies
you
to ourselves,
know
right? Our brain can lie to us.
that
Yeah.
it's not good, you're like, you want it to be.
You
And you see
want it to
potential.
be.
You see potential in that person, and you're like, they can be this way.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
can.
Yeah.
But they're not that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that, because again, there are things that I don't always love about my husband. I mean, I like him all around. Everything about him I like. I just don't love everything that he does.
can't,
No,
'cause we're
exactly.
human.
But every single person, like, even though, like, you're probably my person, there's things that you do sometimes where I'm like, ugh, God.
Never.
What?
It's
Never.
not possible.
No, but I accept, like, every version of herself.
She
whether
accepts
it's
your faults.
Yeah.
That you don't have.
I don't have any. It's her faults that she doesn't understand.
Moving on. All right. Wisdom, wounds, and WTF moments. Are you more confident now or more cautious now?
Yes.
Both?
Mm-hmm.
Confident and cautious. You can be
Yeah.
both?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah. No, I think so. I know so.
Yeah.
I am 100% sure about that. I'm confident in the fact that I've taken the time. I've done some therapy. I read a lot. I talk to people who are really smart and have success in relationships or have failures in relationships. And so I am getting this feedback loop. So my confidence is in the fact that I know who I am. And that's my confidence. And there's a lot of flaws. There's a lot of cracks still, but I know those.
Right.
Like crack is whack or cracks in the mold? Just checking. Okay. So,
But still, I feel like I still have that guard. Like, I think it's hard to get rid of the guard.
well,
Like having
But we
my
should
guard.
have a
but don't
guard.
you? So here's my question. Like, I feel like, so Casey's now boyfriend has never been married and has no kids.
Oh.
Which is somewhat of a red flag because he's never had to compromise for 40 something years, right? But, well, we weren't going to say that.
I want to.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he doesn't.
He looks like he's 30.
I can't wait to see a picture
Yeah,
of him. before
he's
you
probably
leave
one of
her
those
today.
ones that have, I'm actually almost 50, but everyone says I look 30.
I wasn't sure where she was going with that. She was like, he's probably one of those
No.
that have. Okay.
Well, so as far as like, I feel like when it comes to like these men who are you guys is like dating age, right? I feel like they're damaged goods in some way. I feel like either a woman's cheated on them or like they're always like comparing every woman they date to like the love of their life. But also a big issue is that the older women get, the more the ratio of single women to men becomes smaller. And I want to say it's like 6-1 by 60. Like 6 women to every 1 man alive by 60, something like that. And I say that because
Even though
of,
our population is 50-50. Ish.
no, but women live longer than men.
Right. I'm just saying in the sense of population, if we're going in statistics.
Yeah, but they're either married or dead.
Right.
So
Well, and I also feel like men will go younger with their age than we do.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I mean, I feel like I'm pretty confident and I'm pretty good for my age, but I can't compete with a 24-year-old.
No.
I
well,
mean,
why
no,
would
we
you?
can't.
But why
Right.
would a
And, well, that's
50-something year
actually
old
not
man
true. You can compete with a 24-year-old because they don't actually have.
the maturity?
right.
Yeah, but I don't know if men want that. Some men don't
They
want
do.
that.
They do. They don't know that they want it. They think they don't want it until things get.
Well, I know somebody who literally said that he wished he had married for companionship, not looks. Because as he's getting older, it's kind of like, well, now,
Yeah.
yeah. And also looks fade to some extent, I guess.
Well, I'd kind of like to have both.
You do.
Because you can't be with somebody that's like, I mean, I guess you can.
Well, I
don't
feel
know.
like if
you
you-
have to have an attraction.
There's an attraction. It has to be on some level.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well-
not on some level. It has to be on multiple levels.
Right.
You have to find them attractive in some way, right? Like physically attractive
But I
in
do
some
think
way.
that like some men that you wouldn't originally find attractive, you eventually develop.
Grow.
Like,
Once you
grow-
get to
yes.
know them and their
Yes.
personality.
Yeah.
But
For-
that's not
for
somebody you
women.
would like meet.
And maybe I'm wrong.
Like
Don't you think
online or
that's more of a
something,
woman thing? That
Yes.
you grow into attraction?
Yes.
Yeah, but men, they're very eye candy.
I think it's superficial. Yeah.
I think their
Superficial.
initial.
Yeah. Well, what about like safety at dating at this age? Like, what is your recommendation for like, even if you have chemistry with somebody, like the guy you decided to go and watch Disney Plus with, right? Your safety measure was that people knew him.
Right. But it still probably wasn't a great idea. Like, if it was my daughter, I would die if she did something like
Went
that.
to some man's house.
Yes, even if people
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, as a first date.
Yeah.
Well, do you text somebody? Do you put your location
I have.
services? I know that you and I have.
Oh, yeah. I share my location.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you have,
I'm
like, your
just like,
person.
if you text me and if I don't respond, it means I'm dead.
Yeah.
Call the police.
Exactly.
And also, here's his profile. Here's all the information. Yeah.
Yep, me too.
The reality is the emotional safety, right? Most of us are not actually
I
in
thought that
threat
might-
of physical safety.
Well, I think that people can see tangible evidence of physical safety, like compromised.
No, I actually disagree with that.
No, you can physically, tangibly see if someone's been choked, punched, raped,
Oh,
murdered,
sure.
right? But emotional moments that occurred, they're what you say they are. I can't look at you and know that you've been emotionally traumatized by like dating somebody.
But I couldn't have looked at the serial killers that were targeting women. You know, they were very much pleasant men that seemed
Good-looking men.
and they were
Well,
they were
Ted
actually
Bundy.
emotionally manipulative in the sense they made women feel emotionally safe, and then they were physically not safe. So that's where I feel like I go
Well-
to me, just based on the statistical numbers, if we're gonna, like flying in a plane, right? If we're gonna look at the numbers of safety and what we're choosing to do, it's where am I emotionally safe? And
Yeah, I
that's
just
what
think
would
the
go to.
measurement for emotional safety hasn't been done, but the measurement for physical safety, like when it's compromised, we can look at the data of rape, murder, women being assaulted, abused. We can look at the data on
Those
that.
are so much more controlled. I can
Yeah.
choose not to go to Disney Man's house.
Right.
I can choose to meet someone in public. I can choose not to have a drink and leave that drink with him.
But technically, you can choose not to be emotionally vulnerable.
I don't know. Can you choose? Can
Well, I
you
think at
choose?
some point you
because
have
you
to
have to let
try-
yourself down. You have
Not
to let that
to-
emotional
Yeah,
safety
you do
down
have
to
to
let
be
people
vulnerable
in.
to be open to growth.
Right.
I do agree with that.
Right.
But I think at some point you have to realize when it's safe to do it.
Yeah.
And you're compromising
Yeah.
it, but it's one of those things where it's like if you never do it, then the relationship will never grow and can never
Yeah.
be better. And if you do it and the relationship doesn't work, I mean, obviously.
I go back to someone I dated, and you obviously know, and he ended up. I recognized he was a narcissist, and I had no idea what that true form, because that narcissism is thrown around like it's just like,
Right.
oh, you're not a good person, you're a narcissist. But then when I was in that relationship, and I just kept trying to make it work, and I didn't understand, and then eventually I figured out when someone is like taking everything and making you question your own actual moral compass. I mean, that's a narcissist, right? Like when you're questioning that. And that's when I realized emotional safety is the biggest protection that you need because it's not so obvious. And it's
a great-
more
yeah.
prominent than physical safety.
So basically, you're saying that people who are manipulative or at least are good at hurting people are good at getting
And you
in there and
can't
hurting people.
you can't see it until it's actually starting to hurt you.
Yep.
Are there any patterns that you have been able to break in your growth as like women and individuals?
You go first.
She needs a moment.
I need a
Patterns
moment.
that I
So many
have
bad patterns.
broken our examples and experience are very different than what we're choosing now and allowing in our lives now. So I think I have broken those patterns when I chose to get divorced. And
Yeah.
that was my break.
You're saying some of your like childhood programming is what you're
right,
referring
was to be loyal. And
despite any sorts of
and
abuse.
to
Yeah.
trust God. And I'm a very energy centric, spiritual centric. I hate the word religious because I think that is so out of context. And even when if
can be
you were to tell me
off-putting.
you're religious, I would bristle. Even though I know I'm religious, but when people say that, I bristle. So I try to go with energy and spiritual versus religious. And that was the foundation of my how to choose a mate. And I did choose the person that I thought fit that model. But then going forward, I think that is what I've broken, is what that looks like and what a good person looks like. And it's not the foundation that I thought it was.
This reminds me of how much courage it takes to start over, right? So
Yeah.
you probably at some point in your life can look at your marriages and say how much you sacrificed and gave. And then, you're raising your children, whether they're almost grown or not. There takes a bit of courage to put yourself out there. As you said, making yourself emotionally available again, right?
Yeah.
Because you've already been hurt once, and obviously you've had some relationships you might have been hurt again along the way. So I do want to just say, how powerful it is to know your worth and to take those risks. So, and for also, coming out here and putting this out there to discuss what dating at 40, can be like. What advice would you guys give your daughters? Like closing kind of advice. Besides know your worth.
Sons.
Okay,
Why,
fine. But
do
what?
I guess
It's
my question
different.
to you is, why is it different?
No, I think it would be different, wouldn't it? I don't know why.
That's actually my question. Is it different from what we would do for our sons?
I mean, I want my son to be happy too.
Well, to me, it's the same as it would be for my son as it is for my daughter.
It would be the same.
Yes,
Really?
it would be the same.
God, I don't think so. I think it'd be different, but I don't have sons, so.
I don't know, and I
some
think
women.
my current relationship has given me a different perspective on actually what men want from women. I would have thought that men wanted maybe more of a distant woman, the non-needy, and what I'm learning in my relationship
Yeah.
is he actually wants me to be needy.
Really?
And needy, I don't.
Does he have a brother?
Let's define needy. Like, what is needy, right? Like, I'm sure that's a spectrum, like anything else, right? But I do, in some sense, try to be withdrawn. And we had this conversation recently, is that some of what I do is to try to be withdrawn because I want him to pursue me. And that
Right.
gives me the feeling of being wanted. But then,
He also wants to feel wanted.
yes.
Yeah.
And so
Interesting.
that's why I don't, yes, men and women are different. I'm not even going to touch that topic, but I think emotionally,
Yeah.
it
I
is
do
not
feel
so
like
different.
early on, if like you feel like you're pursuing them more than they're pursuing you, then that's your first red flag.
Right.
And I feel like the men should be as interested in you as you
Yes.
are in them.
Yes.
And that's coming from somebody who, is 25 years into this, and I feel like my husband still chases me to some extent. I'm a bit flippant, so poor guy. But
I just feel like at our ages, everybody's so damaged at this point for the most part.
I don't know. I don't
a
love
lot-
that term.
I know, but they are.
But
I
even
mean-
someone who's been in a marriage 25 years, she has her own
Right.
chips.
well, I know, but I would say that the reason I don't want to do it again is because I've seen like the trash that's out there.
You
And
don't want to
honestly-
do it again because you don't know what it's like to be single.
No, it's because I don't want to
I'm going
deal
to push
with
back
some
on
of the
that.
trash
You
that's
don't
out
know.
there.
You don't know what it's like to be single.
My kids will let me move in with them. But yeah, so maybe tune into the episode 2 of Sex After 40. Bum, bum, bum. But just remember that shifts happen, and this has been Shift Talk, and just know that so does love.
Well,
Love
thank you
happens
for having
too.
us.
Yes.
It does.
A second,
It
a
does.
third, a fourth,
Yes.
an 83rd
And there is hope.
time. 83 times.
Hope of being happy.
Hope it. Oh, I'm happy.
Exactly.